Throughout this comprehensive video lesson course, you'll learn exactly how to develop and craft your very own unique recipes. We'll naturally start with the simplest recipes, so those for water-based sorbets, where basically there are only two key parameters, sugars and total solids, so the balance with the water. Once we've carefully balanced all the different sugars perfectly with each other and looked at the various solid components and textures of the fruit, the stabilizers and the fibers we might have, then that is pretty much everything we need to consider for the process. So we'll see how to build the recipe using a very precise method. This first step will be useful for us to understand the mechanisms that we'll need to apply later when creating milk based gelato, which is more complicated simply because there are more parameters to consider. In addition to sugars and total solids, so the balance between liquids and solids, there are also the milk solids not fat, like proteins and lactose. But above all, there are also fats, which make building a recipe from scratch even more complex. So we'll actually see how to start from scratch. First, we'll analyze a basic white recipe, so a very neutral gelato with the classic ingredients sugars, milk, cream, and stabilizers. Then we'll make a fior di latte, which will clearly be a bit richer in terms of fat content. And from this fior di latte recipe, we'll go on to recreate all the other milk based recipes we're interested in. So, in the first phase, we'll make all the fruit based flavors. And clearly, after doing three or four examples, the method is always the same. You just need to change the type of fruit, recalculate the sugars, and you'll be able to get to the final result. Whereas with cream based flavors, we have the option to start from a fior di latte or any basic recipe. The fior di latte is the simplest one to begin with, and then create the various recipes for hazelnut, pistachio, custard, chocolate, and so on. In short, this process will give you the tools to start understanding what balancing is all about. This is just the first step, a beginner level. And the balancing techniques can then also be applied to more unique gelatos, like alcoholic gelatos or dairy free but still creamy gelatos. In short, there are many possibilities beyond the ones we'll see in this video. The important thing is that you don't miss any steps. If there's something you don't understand, go back and watch it again. Good luck.